Hello, my fellow Cancer risings. This one always feels personal because I am a Cancer rising. So I can talk to you about my experience. That may or may not be helpful. Um, you know, so this full moon in Sagittarius is happening in your sixth house of health, routine, daily life. And it's a feel good placement for the full moon. I mean, Sagittarius is optimism. It may be about doing stuff and going places and also really dialing in your daily life. But it's related to where Jupiter is in Taurus. It's ruled by Jupiter in Taurus, which is your 11th house of goals. It's also networking, getting your name out there. The new moon was there, and this full moon is the completion of that new moon in Taurus. So there's something about all the networking you've been doing. It's like, okay, put on your work boots because that's what the sixth house is. We got to start doing it. We got to get real good with our routine. And so those things are jiving. That's really good. Now, keep in mind, soon, Venus will go into Leo. That's Monday morning. That's your second house of finances, okay? And I'm trying to say this advice to myself. Venus in your second house is great. Mars is there too. There's a push to make more money, but it's going to square Jupiter in your 11th house of networking, goals, leadership. And there's something about this square that makes me wonder if, you're dreaming big, so you're spending big. Like I said, I'm talking to myself. All of this is true for me. I had an album come out because I'm a musician, and so I'm having to network and try to put that out there. It's resulted in a lot of daily work. And I'm, okay, ready to get on the ball with my routine. I've also been spending a lot of money. And this is even before Venus is in Leo on all kinds of things. And a lot of it has to do with the album. Now, what I'm seeing also is that maybe this represents the seed you planted, and Venus is gifting you some things here because, for instance, I've spent a lot of money on merch, CDs, t-shirts, things like that. So maybe I will start to sell it with Venus and Leo. Do you see how this goes? So it's not all bad. Venus is a benefic, Jupiter's a benefic. Sure, they're in a tense square, but sometimes that can be opportunity. It's not all bad, but it can result in spending more money or just wanting to go wild. So be aware of that. Later on, Mars will square Uranus from the same place, money, assets, self worth, to 11th house, uh, goals, networking, societies, things like that. So that could be a surprise, like, oops, I got to pay all this money for something I didn't realize. Or, oh man, I don't have enough money after spending all that money. I'm not, so hopefully it won't be that bad. It'll be the 25th and 26th, I think, of June, well after the next new moon. But speaking of new moon, we'll go ahead and preview something else that's happening. Saturn is in your ninth house in Pisces. That is teaching, higher education, travel. It is adventure. It's belief, truth, philosophy. And so I think Cancer risings are searching for meaning right now in some way. And it is a burden. Saturn can be a burden. What is the meaning to it all? It's not necessarily achievement, but it's like, what is my point? And Saturn is making that become a reality for us. And so a lot of goals are formed in the ninth house because that's before Saturn transits the 10th house of career. So ninth house rules higher education, it rules travel, it rules foreign cultures and things of that nature. So Saturn invites mastery of this area of philosophy, teaching, learning, all of that stuff. That, though, is square to your 12th house, which is where the sun is right now. Back on May 27th, there were some things that happened. Saturn squared the sun, or the sun squared Saturn. So there was a test at that point, and I think maybe it's how much do you want it? How much do how much does this mean to you on a spiritual level? So that will happen again with Mercury, and that's around the 16th, 17th, just before the new moon in your 12th house of the 12th house wants to escape, man, wants to get away. It wants retreat, it wants reflection, it's dreams, but it's also creativity. And so this could be some sort of message if we just listen. But yes, a little bit of a brief obstacle. Don't forget, later in July, Venus will retrograde through your second house of value, self-worth, and assets. So there is a change coming there, and it is a change that's going to happen all summer. Cancer risings, get ready. All right, I'll catch you on the flip side, June 18th for the new moon in Gemini.